Spencer Cassadine became an instant fan favorite when Nicholas Bechtel debuted in the role on General Hospital in May of 2013, but the little kid has had quite a history and some viewers may not be up to snuff on all of the details of the Cassadine prince's life. So let us do the favor of filling in some of the blanks. Who plays Spencer on GH? Spencer was born on-screen in February 2006 and was played by a series of infant and child actors. Davin Ransom portrayed the precocious tyke from 2009-11, after which Bechtel stepped into the role. He later landed a starring role on the Disney Channel comedy series Stuck in the Middle, so starting in 2015, Bechtel only made sporadic appearances as Spencer when his schedule would allow. In July 2021, Spencer returned to Port Charles, but the role had been recast with Nicholas Chavez. Davin Ransom as Spencer with Tyler Christopher's Nicholas in 2011. Howard Weiss/JPStudios.com. Who is Spencer's mom? Little Spencer was seen as a miracle baby because his mother, Courtney Matthews, was told she was infertile. Of course, being a soap opera, the birth was even more complicated because Port Charles was hit with a deadly encephalitis plague and Nicholas Cassadine and Courtney were both struck down. She insisted on having a C-section to save the baby, but while the premature infant survived, Courtney sadly passed away. Alicia Lee Willis as Spencer's late mom, Courtney. John Smith/JPStudios.com. Spencer's baby daddy was also in doubt because Jasper Jax tampered with the paternity tests to indicate he was the father, and Courtney had died before she could tell Nicholas the truth. Carly helped Jax fix another test that Nicholas ran, but eventually, Robin Scorpio learned the truth, and Jax was forced to return the infant to his rightful father. What was Spencer's original name? Courtney decided to name their baby John, after Jax's father, but when Nicholas regained custody, he wanted to try and erase any trace of the time Jax was the boy's father, so he decided to rename him Spencer after his brother and sister, Lucky and Lulu Spencer. His full name is Spencer Alexei Nikolaevich Cassadine. Helena wanted Spencer for herself. Howard Weiss/JPStudios.com. Why was Helena obsessed with Spencer? Desperate to control the family empire, Helena Cassadine was having no luck doing it through Nicholas, so she saw his heir as a means to access the family fortune. She managed to get her hands on the tot when crazy nanny Colleen abducted him and the villainess swooped in to snatch him away for herself. Helena took Spencer to St. Petersburg intending to baptize him under another name, but Nicholas and Emily managed to thwart her evil scheme and bring the baby home. Why did Spencer leave Port Charles? Nicholas was upset when he learned that Elizabeth's son, Aiden, was really Lucky's and not his. Refusing to believe it, he planned to skip town with both his boys. But after having a change of heart, Nicholas returned Aiden to Liz and Lucky and simply left with Spencer to start a new phase of their lives. They returned in 2013 in time for Laura's wedding to Scott Baldwin. Spencer clashed with his cousin, Cameron, over who would get to be Emma's boyfriend. He even teamed up with Jocelyn Jax to split up Emma and Cameron. Nicholas saved his son's life in a deadly fire. Howard Weiss/JPStudios.com. How did Spencer almost die? During his birthday party at Windermere, there was a terrible fire, and Spencer and Emma found themselves trapped. Emma escaped relatively unscathed, but Spencer was very badly burned. Although he survived, he was hospitalized for quite some time and had difficulty dealing with being disfigured. But a visit from his mother's spirit taught him that beauty is not skin deep, and when he finally took off his mask, Spencer was happy to find out the scars weren't as bad as he'd feared. Why did Spencer hate Valentine? When Spencer returned from school in the summer of 2016, it was when Nicholas was presumed dead. But Spencer took the news pretty well because he actually was in contact with his father, who was alive and well after faking his death. Unfortunately, during a clash with Valentine Cassadine, Nicholas was shot and fell to a much more permanent demise. Or so everyone believed at the time. Spencer took out his animosity on Valentine's daughter, Charlotte, but saved his true hatred for Valentine himself. Heck, he even went to Sunny to get the guy taken care of. Thankfully, Sonny talked some sense into the kid, and Laura was able to keep him under control. Thankfully, Sonny kept Spencer from going down a dark path. Chris/JPStudios.com. Where has Spencer been? After being kidnapped and rescued, Spencer returned to boarding school. But then he broke his leg, and Laura left Port Charles to take care of her grandson. Once he was on the mend, Laura returned, and eventually, Spencer followed for a visit. He caught up with family and friends, and even managed to squeeze in some time to tamper with the mayoral election to ensure his grandmother would win. Spencer has continued to return to Port Charles for brief visits here and there. However, in January 2020, he was seen at his boarding school in Paris when Ava Jerome paid him a visit to reveal that his father, Nicolas, was alive and well. Nick tried to explain to his son that he had been in hiding until he could figure out a way to take the Cassadine fortune away from Valentine, but Spencer was furious with his father and told him to stay away from him. Why did Spencer return? Spencer made no secret of his feelings towards his father and Ava, so while she suspected that it was Ryan Chamberlain who was sending her creepy gifts and notes, it turned out it was really Spencer sneaking around her art gallery. When he ran into Trina Robinson, Spencer claimed his name was Victor and chatted her up while avoiding her friends. Eventually, Spencer revealed he was back in town and surprised Cam and Joss at the pool, and although Trina was upset at his deception, he easily smoothed things over. Nicolas caught Spencer in a lie that led him to believe his son was the stalker, so he set him up for a big fall. Spencer had the last laugh when Ava's car was set fire to while he was having a party at Windermere. Trina was crushed when Spencer introduced her to his girlfriend, Esme Prince, and Laura wasn't happy that the young couple was living together. Suspicious of Esme, Trina enlisted Cam and Joss to set a trap to catch Ava's stalker. Spencer finally confessed, and Nicolas threw him out of the house. Sorry, Trina. Esme has her claws deep into Spencer. ABC/Craig showed. And why is Spencer in prison? Ava had Spencer arrested and offered him a way out, but he turned her down flat. Esme was relieved that Spencer didn't name her as his accomplice, and Kevin posted bail for him, urging the young man to get a job. Spencer took a job at Kelly's and disowned his Cassadine family. However, Victor Cassadine arranged for a plea deal that sentenced Spencer to 30 days at Springbridge. The judge also ordered Spencer to work at the Jerome Gallery, where he found himself reporting to Trina. Before he was locked up, Esme organized a ski weekend away with their friends, but in the cabin, drugged Trina's drink and humiliated her rival. When Jocelyn blew up, Spencer reluctantly defended his girlfriend. Eventually, Spencer said his goodbyes before heading off to Springbridge, and Esme caught him in a close moment that looked like he and Trina were about to kiss. When Esme visited Spencer in Springbridge, he was a little concerned that she also wanted to visit Ryan. Stay tuned to GH to see how Spencer's story continues. Ad block test: why?